Namaste, good morning, it's Claire Sharp from Spiritual Pampering here in Yanchep, West Australia. Blessings to you this morning. So I've come to you to talk to you about the Ascension that we've just been through, 4th, 5th of April, over the weekend, last weekend. And when we was doing the global meditation at 10:45 Perth time, I was doing my healing work around the planet Earth. And then I got shown the number 7. Now, I don't know if you follow me on my Spiritual Pampering page, but I've been seeing 7 everywhere. Everywhere, every time I look at my watch, it's got 7 behind it. I woke up the other morning and my heart rate was 57. My calories burnt were 347. There was another 7, and then it was the 7th of the month. So 7th day. So like, it's just everywhere. Every time I look at my clock, it's just always ending in a 7. Even in the middle of the night. I noticed last night I woke up at one time, it was 10:27, and then the next time I looked it was 1:47, and then I woke up again later on, and it's just always got this 7 behind it. So when I was doing the meditation, I saw this 7. Now I remembered it. It's in an old journal, a purple 7 that I'd written. And so after the meditation, I went to the journal, which happens to be from 2007. There's my 7. So I remember what they were showing me. Clearly as they showed me this book, I saw the 7. And it said, I had a wonderful dream about the number 7, amethyst, earth healing. And then I made some notes, peace, earth, landlines. And I woke at 7 as a confirmation. So I just wrote some notes. Normally with a dream, I go into great detail in my journal. It can go for pages. But the fact that I woke at 7 and I had a little boy at the time who needed to get to school, I can only presume that I had to get going and didn't come back to it. I'd only written the notes. And the next page does not. It is next. You see, the next time I've written in is like about 3 weeks later, because it's a journal, so I don't always write in it straight after. So the next entry is July, and it was a card reading I did. So 7 it is. So if anybody wants to expand on that, but I do know this: 7 is the number for Saint Germain, and it's Saint Germain who started channeling with me last week, started really in Bali, when I was up in Bali in March. So it's been coming through, and this morning, well, it's been one of those nights. I woke up at 1:30, and I was sitting there thinking about what day of the week it was and all of that. And then I suddenly realised it was Easter. It's Easter at the weekend. And as soon as I think of Easter, I always think of Mary Magdalene. And when I think about Mary Magdalene, I think about their daughter, Sarah. And so I got this really strong intuition thing to go and just get on and look about Sarah on Google. So there I am Googling, and I came across a lady who wrote something about the eight things you don't know about Mary Magdalene. So I started looking at that, and then she channels Sarah. And Sarah is helping us move through into this new 5th dimension. She is the one that's coming through. And what she says is that you come from your heart, that we need to do forgiveness, that we need to let go, and really look within. Now, they're all the things that I've been saying this year. I've been saying that all year. Every time I get on and I write something or I write a post on Facebook, it's always about looking within, doing forgiveness, forgiving yourself, be it that love and all of that. So, and of course the crystal that you would use would be your rose quartz, beautiful rose quartz. And so it's all about heart chakra stuff. So that's what she's coming. So when I got, and then I did listen to this lady's podcast, and then she linked me with somebody else that I listened to her work. And so I haven't slept since 1:30. That were really it. And so, so we need to connect. So I was then made to go back to my book and have a look at this number 7 again, because the notes that I made were earth healing, earth, landlines and peace. So I know that I've got to do some work around the earth, and landlines and grid lines is what I'm also getting. Not that I know really anything about it, but I know I've got to find out more about it, because that's what we're going to do. And I keep seeing this symbol here, which I would imagine is sacred geometry. I believe it's the flower of life. So that's going to be important, because that keeps coming up. And so I keep looking at, these are on my bedside table. So we've got Mary Magdalene by Lawrence Gardner. I know Lawrence Gardner from a past life, don't know which one, but I know him. He's like a brother to me. I can feel it in my heart. And then, of course, we've got Elizabeth Clare Prophet, Mary Magdalene and the Divine Feminine. And I've had a past life with, I call her Claire, Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I've had a past life with her, and I didn't know where. So a few months ago, I got told to pick up this book because I've been very slow to read it. And I picked it up, and about literally 2 pages after where I'd left off, she actually says that she stood in front of Jesus' tomb. She knows all this because she stood in front of Jesus' tomb, and her name was Martha. Now, I also stood in front of Jesus' tomb, and although I'm not sure who I was, but I was definitely there, because for a long time there, I remember having a past life regression about 25 years ago. And I'm standing outside the tomb of Jesus' tomb. And I'm like, there was just me. So I don't know if I got there first. And I told the lady afterwards, and she said, do you think you were Mary Magdalene? And I'm like, no, I don't believe it was Mary Magdalene. I'm going to go, well, there's somebody else, had to be somebody else there with her. She wouldn't go on her own, would she? And so I never sold anybody for 20 odd years, that story, because sometimes your ego can get involved and all of that. And I didn't want people to think that, it was coming from ego, because it wasn't. I remember standing there clearly at the tomb. So, so every Easter, I get this wake up before Easter, and I get told to research, which I'm always like reading about Mary Magdalene, because I really absolutely really love her. So I guess he's doing this research, and I find out that there was 5 women. Well, I know there was 5 women, and then this morning I started getting the names. Well, 3 of them were called Mary, because of course that was a really common name at the time, wasn't there? There was Joanna, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Mary, mother of James and Joseph, which is, I think it's Mother Mary's sister-in-law. Now, Salomon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we also know, of course, Martha was there, because that's exactly what Clare Prophet said. She was standing there. So there was a gathering of women. There was a gathering of women standing there. So if you feel drawn to be thinking that you've been there, you most probably have, because I know one of the psychics at the Mind, Body and Spirit, I told her about it, and she said, I was there too. So she said, I knew you from somewhere. I felt like we'd had a past life. So that's where it is. And you'll find that people really resonate in your heart, and you don't know why. And that's because you've had a past life with them. You just know them, and it's like that. Same about the old soul, or the twin flame, and then you meet them in this lifetime, and you might not be able to get together in this lifetime, but you just recognise them from a soul level. It's a soul level you reckon. I got it, the soul level. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I also want to say it, because if you don't know it, you should, because Mary Magdalene was married to Jesus, and they had 2 children. Sarah being one of them. Sarah was the princess that went out in. Well, she was born when Mary Magdalene went to the UK. Well, she went to France. She went to the UK first, and then they went to France. And so I'm reading a little bit about that in this book, but I already know it from my own truth. And I'm like, so she goes with Joseph of Arimathea. So he organises, he gets Jesus' body down, he sorts out the because the Garden of Gethsemane was his property and all of this. So, like, he's really involved in all of the crucifixion and everything. And then he gets the body down, and then he disappears off somewhere. And then next time he's in England, and he's going to Glastonbury, and he's got the chalice and all of that, the Holy Grail. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know who I know disappears a lot and is here and is there and is everywhere? Is Saint Germain. He appears in history over the years. Christopher Columbus, Sir Francis Bacon. He was in the Marie Antoinette, so that's Louis, the courts in France. He was trying to stop the French Revolution, and then he pops up again in Russia, and he's all over the place. I says to myself, don't he flit around like Saint Germain? And I just got it, and I actually wrote it at the top of my book this morning. Because I like to, as soon as I get a message or I call it a bingo moment, I actually write it down. So, well, can't show you, but I've written it down somewhere, and I wrote down Joseph of Arimathea was Saint Germain. 7:13 this morning it was, so the 9th of the 4th. Really? Okay. So Google, hey, let's do it. So I Googled it. Past lives of Saint Germain. Joseph of Arimathea. So there you go. Isn't that crazy good? So just know that in your heart that Mary Magdalene was married to Jesus. And then the other thing about Mary Magdalene, let me just tell you this one. She was never, ever, ever, ever a prostitute. Ever. Never. And now that the Dead Sea Scrolls that were found in 1947, that's your other 47, 1947, now they've become knowledge, and the Vatican have got hold of them, and they've now, it was about 3 years ago, I reckon it should have been actually on the news, that they've now made her a saint. They've made her what they call the first apostle. So they've really acknowledged her. But I also know in the Dead Sea Scrolls that it has been, they've read that she was married to Jesus and had children. So they're yet to tell us that, but I can honestly tell you, because I know, it's the truth. So, and why not? Why not? And they would have, together as a union, it would have been far better to have that dual father-mother figure rather than with the Catholics just having Jesus. We needed the dual modality. We needed the dual aspect, father-mother. Like with God, it's a father-mother aspect. God isn't a man. It's a male-female, yin-yang, whatever you call it. You know, to make that oneness. Like the Hindus know all about it, you know. So, there we go. So what else do I have to tell you? Right, so, and don't fear coronavirus, please. Just think of it as a really bad flu. Really bad flu. Don't get into fear. Stay in your heart centre. Just believe and have trust and have faith. If you sit in your heart, this is what Lady Sarah was saying, Jesus' daughter. Sit in your heart space. That's what I've been saying to you. Sit in your heart and you lift, you elevate. Activate your heart chakra, sit in your heart. If you haven't noticed any shift since the Ascension on Sunday, it's maybe because you're not taking your time to look within. Sit in your heart space, connect, and you'll find that what I've been saying is true. That when you sit and have trust and faith, you will find so much peace. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear with the coronavirus. 64,000 people died in America of flu. It was either last year or the year before. This year was a particularly bad year. This winter, they had something like 63,000 deaths. 105 of those were children. We don't hear about that on the news, do we? So I want you to stick with your faith. I'd also invite you to do some grid line, earth line, landline healing For me, I find that I resonate with the number 11. So I always do my work, my spiritual work, at 11 a.m. So if you'd like to join me on Sunday, which is Easter Sunday at 11 a.m, I've still got my grid around my healing table. I got told to leave it there so that I would be doing healings. So let's do that. Let's get together around the world, whatever time for you, but I like 11 a.m. Let's get together and pray for the planet. So there's people I'm doing my own healing. I'm doing my own healing for people on the planet, but we need to heal the planet Earth. All right. So imagine that you've got planet Earth in your palm of your hands and send healing energy, the pale pink light, the white light, and the golden light. They're the 3 colours I've been told to use. Okay. So may peace be with you. Absolutely. Please do not watch telly all day. Turn off the news. Sit within. Try and do some meditating. Get on Spotify. Follow some meditation. Sit in your heart space. It's the best thing you can do. So, with love from my heart to yours, have the most beautiful Easter. And I will see you soon. Take very good care of yourselves. Lots of love. Namaste, everybody.